Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Kevin with Optimize Essentials, and today I'm going to teach you how to deadlift with two different objects, alright? Number one, the dumbbell, and then the second one, the barbell. How to make sure you're perfecting it by doing the step-by-step progressions that I have found to be most helpful in terms of teaching my clients how to deadlift properly. So the very first thing I want you to know is you shouldn't get into the barbell right away, because most of you out there have really poor posture, meaning your probably shoulders are rounded forward, or your butt is tucked under, or your butt is sticking out. You have excessive anterior and posterior pelvic tilts. You want to make sure you watch those videos. If you have those postural deviations, you want to make sure you check those out so that you understand how to correct your posture so that you have optimal posture before you do any form of deadlift, heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, any type of heavy movement, because you can put yourself at risk of injury, which I've experienced multiple times, and which is why I'm getting into postural deviations and all that good stuff. But anyhow, I'm gonna teach you how to do the deadlift with the step-by-step progressions. If you can't do this correctly, you wanna make sure you're checking your ankle mobility, your calves, your hamstrings, and most likely your quads and whatnot as well, and your core. If you're activating any of those, you wanna make sure you're paying attention to those before you even jump into this. So the very first thing that I like to teach for clients is the dumbbell or kettlebell deadlift. Both works the same way, but basically what you want to do to do a deadlift first is to learn the Romanian deadlift. The Romanian deadlift is similar to the stiff leg deadlift. That's where you're not completely locking out your knees, but you're having a slight bend in it the whole time, and you're only hinging at the hips, all right? I like to teach this one first because it's an easier concept to get, all right? So the very first thing you want to do is you want to stand about hip width. So what I like to use as a measuring mark is the ASIS, all right? Your anterior superior iliac spine, right? Or yeah, ASIS, go look it up. So this little bulb that's right in front of your pelvis. There's two knots right in here. It should be in line with your feet. That's what I like to do in terms of hip length. And to make sure you're getting it correctly, I like to pinch my butt cheeks together, waddle around, and that is where my natural alignment is. And then from there, you're just going to stand right in front or directly above the dumbbell. So from this position, you're going to waddle around, squeeze your butt, and then I like to teach people, this is something I invented a while ago, to get on their knees first, all right? You're simply going to just get on your knees, chilling like you're trying to catch your breath, and then from here, you're going to push your butt all the way back, right? So imagine there is a string or a rope tied to your tailbone, and it's pulling you up and forward or out towards the opposite wall. So it's wrapped around your tailbone, it's pulling you up and away, all right? It's pulling you there. You should instantly feel a very deep stretch in your hamstrings. So knees, pull, and push your butt all the way out. So I'm focusing right now on my heels because this is very important with your heels, and the back of my pelvis. So I'm pushing my hips all the way back, and from this position, I can't go any further back or else I'm gonna hyperextend my knees. And we don't want that. Remember, we want a slight, about 15 to 20 degree bend on our knees at all times. So push your hips all the way back until you can't go anymore, and you feel a really deep stretch in your hamstrings. From here, you're just going to straighten out your arms, tug on the weight. As you're tugging on the weight, you're not going to pull it up. You're just going to tug, and then you're going to keep everything in alignment by tucking your chin and pulling your head back slightly, all right? So this is what it looks like. Knees, push your hips back, take your hands, straighten them, tug on it, and then straighten everything out. And from this position, you can even pull it up just a little bit to lock in, solidify that position by holding it right here. Now, in this position, what you want to make sure is your back is not round, all right? Use a mirror. Your back is nice and neutral, and you do this by drawing your belly button in and kind of popping your chest out and tucking your chin in at the same time. So it looks like everything is nice and stiff, but it's actually solidifying and plugging the energy leaks, right? So you're tugging, and then you're pulling up with your heels, and you're trying to do a posterior pelvic tilt, right? You're trying to use your pelvis and your heels and your core to tuck yourself upwards, all right? This is where I see a lot of people make the mistake. You want a posterior tilt. So this is anterior pelvic tilt, this is posterior pelvic tilt. You want to use your butt to pull yourself up into a posterior pelvic tilt. Does that make sense? So let's go over that all one more time. So standing nice and neutral, hip width, you're going to get onto your knees, stick your butt all the way back, hold your hands straight, push your hips a little back a little bit further, tug on it, take a big breath, draw your belly button in, keep your core tight, really important, and then focus on using your heels and your arms. You're never pulling with your hands, you're letting your whole body pull, but you're focusing on using your legs to push the floor away from you, and then butt tuck your way up into a squeeze. So push your hips back, breathe in, tap, and then pull and squeeze. Breathe in, hold your breath, pull, and squeeze. That's how you do a dumbbell Romanian deadlift, all right? That's the quickest way to learn the Romanian deadlift in my experience of teaching clients. Now, once you get that down, you want to progress it into a deadlift. Simply move your feet out from here about half a foot. So here, or 2 toes, 2 or 3 toes. So you're going to go from here, just going to move out just a little bit, and then you're going to push your hips back. Same exact motion. Push your hips back, and then this time, you're going to sink your hips down, right? Like you're trying to push your butt down towards the ground. You're not pushing your knees forward, so you're not going here, and you're not doing this. You're pushing my butt back, and then you're sinking down. Do you see that? From here, sink down. And then from this position, you're going to pull. As you're pulling, you're pushing the ground off, and you're propelling yourself using your hips. So pull, squeeze. Breathe in, core tight, squeeze. Breathe in, core tight, and squeeze. So the difference between a regular deadlift and a Romanian deadlift is how much knee bend we have, right? We're not using our knees, remember, we're using our hips and core, your trunk to maneuver the movement. So if you're not activating your glutes because you have really tight hip flexors, or you're not activating, or you're not able to get into that position because you have really tight hamstrings, and instantly when you go into this position, your lower back rounds, you need to watch my squat assessments and figure out how to address these postural deviations, because if you're pulling and your back is like this, guess what's taking all the damage? Your lower back. So you want to make sure you can get into not excessively a lordosis and arched back, but a nice neutral position by either stretching out your hamstrings, stretching out your quads, or engaging your core and engaging your glutes. All right, cool. So now that you learned how to do the Romanian deadlift and the regular deadlift with a dumbbell, I want to teach you how to progress that to the barbell. I put 45s on here, but you could start out with 25s. It might actually be recommended or easier for you to progress to 45s. But once you get the mechanics right with the 40 pounds or whatever dumbbell that you're using, the idea is to progress it from 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 60 pounds, 70 pounds, 80 pounds, until you get strong enough so that you can actually do the barbell. Typically, I like to do the barbell first and just go through the ranges of motion so that you know how to do the Romanian deadlift. I'll probably post a video of me doing it separately because I'm not going to film it here today. I'm in a time crunch and I can get this done. But I'm going to show you how to do it the same exact way in terms of using the dumbbell that we just went over, right? So same exact concept. You're going to walk up hip width, keep your butt squeezed, and then from here, you're just going to push your hips back. Get into your knees, and then push your hips back, all right? And then in this position, you already have a natural Romanian deadlift position. And then you simply execute by tugging, drawing your belly button in, keeping everything tight, and then pulling and pushing with the legs, all right? So you're not pulling your arms, you're just pulling with your whole body. So this is what it's gonna look like. Pull, squeeze. Push your hips back, slide straight down, close to your shins, tap, squeeze. Push your hips back, tap, squeeze. So when you're going down, you want to make sure you're breathing in, holding it, exhaling at the top, and then resetting. Now that's how you do the Romanian. Once you've gotten that down, same exact concept, all right? Get on your knees first, push your hips back, put your hands straight, tug on it, keep your chin, head nice and neutral with your spine. As you're tugging, you're just going to sink your hips down, and right when it feels like you can't go anymore, you feel like you're going to run into the bar, that's where you want to draw your belly button in, keep everything tighter even more, and then drive and push up with your heels, and butt tuck yourself up. Go down, tap, butt tuck yourself up. So again, the difference is you have more of a knee bend as opposed to less of a degree on your knee. Does that make sense? Regular conventional deadlift, you're gonna sink down a little bit more, you're gonna push off, and you're gonna get more glute and core activation. From here, you're gonna get more hamstrings. Make sense? Cool. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video so that more people can learn how to deadlift properly. And then also, make sure you stay tuned for my upcoming programs, how you can develop muscle, stay lean, how you can fix your posture, and get some amazing, amazing progress. So once again, guys, this is Kevin with Optimize Essentials, and this is how to deadlift properly. Peace.